So, today we're going to dive deep into something called the Sanātana knowledge system. Now, I want you to forget, just for a moment, everything you think you know about ancient beliefs. We're about to explore how ancient India built this incredibly powerful system for organizing knowledge itself. You know, when you hear the term Sanātana Dharma, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's religion, right? A set of beliefs and rituals. But what if that's just one tiny piece of a much, much larger puzzle? What if it's less about what you believe and more about a system? Because that's really what we're looking at here. This isn't just some collection of stories or old doctrines. No, it's a complete, highly structured system that was designed to classify, preserve, and pass down knowledge about, well, everything. So let's jump right in. To really get this, we've got to shift our whole perspective. We need to stop thinking about it as a religion and start thinking about it more like knowledge management. I mean, how did this ancient system even define what knowledge is? How was it all categorized, and how on earth was it passed down for generations without getting all twisted and corrupted?
Okay, so the very first and probably the most important step in understanding this whole system is to see how it sorts knowledge. See, it doesn't just lump all information together as equal. Right from the get-go, it makes this really fundamental distinction.
So, on one hand, you have the kind of knowledge that's created by us, by the human intellect. Think about things like the latest software update on your phone, or maybe the rules to a new board game. It's useful stuff, sure, but it's temporary. It changes all the time. But then, on the other hand, you have knowledge that is simply perceived by the human mind. These are the big, fundamental truths. You know, like the laws of physics or the core principles of mathematics. We don't invent them, we discover them. They were always there. And there's this fantastic Sanskrit word for this second type of knowledge, this timeless, perceived stuff, Upaniṣads. It literally means not of human origin, or not man-made. And what's so cool about this is that this single concept, well, it forms the absolute foundation for everything else we're about to talk about. So this is the main takeaway right here. The entire incredible structure of knowledge that we're going to unpack is built on this bedrock of Upaniṣads, these permanent, universal truths that are just perceived, not created by anyone. All right, so let's get into the first layer of how this whole thing is organized. I mean, if you've got this huge ocean of timeless knowledge, where do you even start to classify it? Well, the answer lies in the Vedas. The word Veda itself is pretty simple. It comes from the Sanskrit root vid, which just means to know. So Veda literally means knowledge. Now, tradition tells us that a sage named Krishna Dvaipayana took on this absolutely huge task of sorting all of this Upaniṣads knowledge into four main groups. And for doing that, he earned the title Veda Vyasa, which means the one who described the Vedas. And this is how he broke it all down. You have the Rig Veda, which is all about these beautiful hymns praising nature. Then there's the Yajur Veda, which focuses on ritual practices for our well-being. The Samaveda explores the incredible power of music in chants. And finally, the Atharva Veda gets super practical. It deals with everyday things like health and how to manage your wealth. Okay, so you've got all this timeless knowledge classified. Great, but what's the next big problem? Preservation. How do you protect this massive library of insights and pass it down for centuries without it getting messed up? I mean, this is a huge, huge problem. Today, in our digital world, we worry about data corruption, right? Well, imagine trying to prevent that over thousands of years. Languages change, the meanings of words drift, pronunciations evolve. Without a really solid system to ensure precision, all that original knowledge would just be lost. But the system had a pretty brilliant solution for this.
And that solution is the Vedāṅgas, the 6 auxiliary disciplines. You can think of them like the operating system for all this knowledge, the tech manual that makes sure everything stays perfect. You've got Shiksha for phonetics, so pronunciation never changes. Vyakarana for grammar, to lock down the structure of sentences. Chanda for poetic meter. Nirukta to understand where the words came from. Jyotisha, which is the study of light and celestial bodies to get the timing of everything just right. And Kalpa for the precise procedures of rituals. Their only job? To create a super stable, uncorrupted way to transmit knowledge across generations. It's genius.
So, we've got the foundation, the Vedas, and we've got the infrastructure holding it all together, the Vedāṅgas. But how does all of this abstract foundational knowledge actually become useful in the real world? And this is where the system gets incredibly practical. See, this foundational knowledge isn't just meant to be memorized and put on a shelf. It's seen as this deep well that you can draw from. from which all sorts of applied sciences can emerge. These are known as the Vedas, or the sub-systems of knowledge. This is where the whole system really comes to life. It's not just theory. It's a launchpad for practical science. Just look at the direct lines here. From the deep insights of the Rig Veda about life and nature, you get Ayurveda, the holistic science of life and medicine. From the Yajurveda, with its focus on structured action and precision, you get Dhanurveda, the science of warfare. It makes total sense, right? Both need incredible precision. The beautiful chants of the Samaveda, well, they naturally give birth to Gandharva Veda, the entire world of aesthetics, music, and the arts. And from the Atharva Veda, which focuses on the material world, you get Arthashastra, a really sophisticated system of economics and statecraft. See? There's a clear, logical path from a foundational idea straight to a real-world application.
So let's just do a quick recap of this beautiful structure. At the very bottom, the absolute bedrock, you have the Vedas. This is the source code, the repository of timeless perceived insights about how existence works. Then, supporting that massive foundation, holding it all together and keeping it pure, are the Vedāṅgas. These are the critical tools for precision, the grammar, the phonetics, the meters, that stop the knowledge from ever getting corrupted over time.
And finally, at the very top, growing right out of that stable, well-preserved foundation, you get the real-world application, the Vedas, the practical knowledge systems for medicine, for art, for economics, for defense, foundation, support, and application. It's a complete, coherent system.
But this entire incredible structure, this whole system of knowledge, it all points to one final, crucial idea. The system isn't just there to archive information. The ultimate goal is for the essence of this knowledge to become an experiential truth. It suggests that a perfect knowledge system doesn't just give you data, it leads to real, genuine understanding. And that kind of leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? In our own modern age of infinite information, what's really the difference between just knowing a fact and truly experiencing its truth?